I would say home is the best way to describe Kent State East Liverpool.
In my first year here, we kind of put the pit together as a place for students to go. We dyed parachutes blue, suspended them from the ceiling, and brought in some machines and a ping pong table so that we could get Cokes and coffee and sandwiches, and it was a lot of fun putting the room together, and then we began having dances down there.
Oh, they used to have shit dances. I'm not sure if anybody else has mentioned those, but you know, TGIS, thanks God it's Friday. We didn't have classes on Friday, so we had So Happy It's Thursday. So SHIT dances. Every dance they'd have a DJ or a band and beer.
Almost every Thursday, or at least 2 times, 3 times a month, there was a concert. My good friend Doug Smith played there quite frequently. Brett Hartenbaugh, myself. One of the people we had play here at Kent was a friend of mine, Larry Gross, who now has a show on National Public Radio called Mountain Stage. Larry did a lot of shows here for us in East Liverpool, which is pretty amazing.
It was packed. We had bands. There really wasn't like DJs that much back in the 70s. We'd have a live band, and place would just be packed wall to wall. I would have people calling me and, are you taking somebody? Are you taking somebody? Because they wanted to be able to get in. When I went to Kent, we would drive back here to go to the beer blast.
Everybody hung in the pit. There was a ping pong table. We'd have ping pong championships, and I think there was a pool table also. There was a jukebox.
Sometimes when I hear a song on the radio now, I go right back to the pit.
The students, after studying and tests and everything, that was a place for them to go and relax. But we had new furniture, and of course we wanted it to stay that way. And I can remember of Dean King walking through, and some of the boys had their feet up on the furniture, and he went by and he, like that, he said, "That furniture isn't for your feet." I can remember the day it happened. I was coming back from lunch and in my car, and I had the radio on, and it said about the shooting on main campus. So when I got to my office, Dean King was in his office, and I said, what's going on main campus with the shooting? And he said, what are you talking about? And I said, there's been a shooting on main campus. He said, I've been trying to get through to main campus and I can't.
And it was an interesting time because of all of the things that were going on with the Vietnam War, the student protests, all those kind of things. I was in Kent on May the 4th, 1970, when the shootings occurred. I was right adjacent to where the main core students were in the Commons, and I knew some of the students. I knew one of the students was killed. It was an overwhelming day. I mean, it was just, that whole weekend was, and I knew National Guardsmen too. I knew a lot of people. Some of my friends were students who were in the National Guard.
I think everybody was in shock here. You could see the students, gathering and talking, and I think it impacted everyone.
I was a student here during when the May 4th incident happened. We were in shock. We didn't know what to think, and then they immediately closed the campus, so we went home. The thing I do remember is when we returned to class, one of the students' mothers made us black armbands with a K on them, and we would wear these. I actually wish I had it, but we'd leave class, we'd give it to somebody else to wear, but that was sort of our way of supporting the students. We didn't really understand what happened and why it happened. It was just shocking and sad, but we didn't know how to interpret what we were hearing at that time. And I don't think I really did until over the years, hearing Carol Barbado and Laura Davis and the different ones that came here to talk to us, help us to understand.
When I went here was when Kent State had a boys and girls basketball team, a tennis team, and everybody, went to watch the basketball games.
There was men's and women's basketball teams, they had a women's volleyball team, men's and women's tennis team, a baseball team. The sports program was pretty involved.
There was actually sports still going on when I came here, when I was hired in '88. As a matter of fact, I had the cheerleaders, which was kind of a joke. We would have a week-long event of things, and some years had more activities than others. There was always chalk art for the kids, always a competitive art show that went on, and any other events that we might want to put on through the week, just musicians playing in the Slack Shack. It kind of went from a festival to a council once we had the gallery and we could keep shows up all year round. Well, actually, Library Jam was sort of the brainchild of Bob Walker. We've done it 2 years in a row now, with some of the same artists and some different. So I think Library Jam's kind of a permanent thing for us.
It was all started basically to honor people that had helped the campus and students who had gone on to achieve a little bit. We used to hold it up at the gym, and we'd go up and take us 2 days to set up, put the tables and chairs up, the matting down on the floors, decorate. It was high quality, low budget.
One evening they had the people from East Liverpool had come to the Memorial Auditorium, and they had dinner, and they had the covering down on the floor, and everyone had ties and all dressed up and everything. And they sent this troupe down from Kent, and they did something that would probably go over in Kent very well. In East Liverpool, it was a play, and it was totally different. The F-bomb was dropped frequently. And the first time you just sort of looked around the room and saw a lot of and each subsequent time it was a little less of this, but you could just tell as you looked around some of the people, it's that it really didn't go over quite the way it went over in Kent.
And I've been taking care of business every day, taking care of business.
I also remember this building where I am right now, which is the Mary Patterson building, was essentially a women's dormitory. Female students lived here, and they could rent rooms in the YMCA, catty corner from this building. There were male students that lived there. Miss Webb was the ran the Mary Patterson, and if you came up to visit, if you were a male and you had somebody to come to visit, you were not allowed in the room. There was a sitting room right in here, which was, it looked like something out of the 1920s or 30s. It was great.
The Mary Pat renovation, that was probably, a really big deal. It was amazing how it was transformed from the small rooms into the state-of-the-art building that it became.
It was amazing how many people contributed and how many people came out. Kent campus provided all the expertise we needed. So it wasn't like they called me and said, go out and get $800 and some thousand to redo this building and let us know how you do. They sent the people down, and the president, Carol Cartwright, was wonderful. She came down several times.
It was a big project, and I think during that period of time, the hospital had just finished a major renovation, so they had hit the community up. Salvation Army had one coming on the books. They were hitting people up, so, and all three projects were successful. And from East Liverpool, it's just amazing.
Most of the staff did I think it was over 2 years, did a donation over 2 years where just a couple dollars really out of their pay, but in the long run it might be $1,000, but it was over quite a long period of time.
But we had a Geraldo moment over there too. We had a big safe over there, and we all went over and thought that there was going to be something exciting in it, and there was nothing in it.
Kent State, East Liverpool is the rock in this community. As we see our community change, and sometimes for the better and sometimes not for the better, Kent State stays solid.
Not only is it a learning establishment, it has become a big part of the community.
Kent State East Liverpool is the backbone of the town. It's the bright spot, I feel, of what we have.
Student here, student worker here, employee here now, legacy. It's home.
It has been so many things to so many people. It's been an anchor. Picture what this would be like if the campus weren't here. The MA that was basically saved that, Puritan Hall, Mary Patterson. What would be here if the campus weren't here?
Kent State East Liverpool is the heart of East Liverpool. We have so many students that would never be able to go to school if this university wasn't here.
Kent State East Liverpool is the pillar of the eastern part of the community.
I would agree with that. It's certainly a foundation. Like he said, I would hate to see what it would look like without Kent State East Liverpool.
I don't really know what the feeling was, but I walked in and it just was like, well, I've missed being here, and this used to be my place. Like, this used to be where I came to learn and grow, and I don't know, I would say home is the best way to describe Kent State East Liverpool.
The thing is that the campus is a good thing.
Well, it's a source of pride, it's an opportunity, and it's a good place to make good memories.
It definitely has had an impact on me, and I've only been here for 2 years.
I think Kent State to me is just, it's hometown. It's right here. I really and truly think if it hadn't been for me coming here, I probably wouldn't have gone back to school.
It's a tremendous educational opportunity for the students. It's a tremendous resource for the community. It's meant a lot to me, and literally thousands and thousands upon thousands of students here in the area.
Thank God for Kent State University.
You've just spent the last few minutes looking at how Kent State East Liverpool has evolved over the last 50 years. There's no question in my mind that Kent State East Liverpool has improved the lives of thousands of people throughout this town, this area, and the rest of the country and beyond. As the current dean, I am honored to serve the East Liverpool campus as we proceed into our next 50 years. I say the next 50 years because I am confident that the East Liverpool campus of Kent State University will continue to be the mainstay of this town, this community, this state, and the rest of the country well into the year 2065. In 2065, I probably won't be here, but the leadership that follows me will come onto a campus that is flooded with students, faculty, and staff that are here to experience an educational process that brings the best and the brightest to our campus. This campus will graduate the best and the brightest with employable skills and continue to serve this community well beyond its academic mission. Over the next 50 years, this campus will only get better, and I, for one, am happy to be here as we take that next step into year 51. Thank you.